So here we are, Chantal Cipriano from Dickinson Wright in Toronto. Chantal, can you please tell us a little bit more about you and your work?
Sure, thanks Phil. So I'm a lawyer in the Toronto office of Dickinson Wright, as you mentioned. We're a law firm that focuses on cross-border transactions between the United States and Canada, and we have a large gaming and hospitality group across our offices. My practice in particular focuses on advising land-based and online gaming clients of the requirements related to licensing, compliance and governance, and due diligence. I also focus on cannabis matters in Ontario and on the federal level with a variety of corporate and securities work that I do as well. Prior to joining the firm, I worked in-house at the Bank of Montreal. I was their compliance manager supporting the high net worth client division.
What is the latest with legalizing sports betting in Canada?
Well, Phil, sports betting hasn't made very much traction in Canada as it has made in the United States. We're sort of handcuffed by our federal criminal code, which prohibits single game sports betting at this time. But there has been a bit of movement in Ontario in particular. Earlier this month, the Ontario government released its budget and its plans for the year, and it's actually sort of prioritized gaming, which is a nice change. And they've said they want to create an online gaming regime, make it competitive, to be tailored to consumer preferences, and to protect players. And they've also said that they're really a proponent for single game sports betting, and they're pressuring the federal government to sort of hop on the bandwagon and join other jurisdictions that have legalized single event sports betting. So we're hoping that at some point that comes to fruition. We have a large offshore operator market in Canada where we have Canadian players that place bets with these offshore operators, so we're really losing a lot of opportunity when it comes to single event sports betting. And when we think about sort of the regulatory framework that we have in place for other types of gaming that take place, we take a risk-based approach, and we've done really well with that. So there haven't been any major scandals when it comes to gaming in a long time, other than sort of what happened with BC and the anti-money laundering issues. So we're doing pretty well, and we've done pretty well in the past. So I think that Ontario is starting the trend, and I think it's time that the other provinces hop on board, and hopefully they do, and the feds will take it into consideration. We're losing a lot of revenue by not offering the product to losing revenue to offshore operators. And we've attempted to legalize single game sports betting in the past by way of 2 bills, and those bills ultimately failed. So we're hoping that third time's a charm on this one.
What's your answer to the critics of legalized sports betting?
In Canada in particular, I mean, we've offered gambling for a long time, various forms of it. And so we've done all the research that's involved with the criticisms involved with gambling, such as, access by young persons, addiction, criminal activity, etc. And we've been doing pretty well so far. And my main rebuttal to what the critics have to say is, in Canada in particular, we legalized cannabis in October of 2018. So we took a product that was completely outlawed, and I should mention that cannabis is regulated by the gaming authority in the various provinces. So we took a substance that was previously completely outlawed because there were so many concerns around the product, and we legalized it and implemented the appropriate regulatory frameworks. So I don't see the reason why we're not offering this one tailored part of sports betting that we so desperately need when we've done it with other products that at no point were ever allowed within our country. And with all that's going in the US and the legalization, I mean, if we don't offer it in Canada, our citizens are going to go to Niagara Falls, cross the border, and just play there. So prohibitions don't work, we know that, and we've seen it, so I think it's time to sort of really look at this in a more serious way.
And this isn't directly related to the legal happenings, but what's going on culturally where these things like cannabis and sports betting are now becoming legal in many places?
Sorry, I missed
What's going on culturally? Why is this happening? Why is so-called taboo things like cannabis and sports betting now being more accepted?
Right. I think there's always been sort of a stigma associated with these sort of products. I mean, cannabis has had a stigma for so long, but with all the research that's been going on, we're finally seeing what the benefits are, the medical benefits of cannabis, and I think that's why it's finally come to the market. And I think with gaming, it's a bit different because with all the millennials and the evolution of technology that's been going on, people just want to place bets and they want to do it quickly, and they want new offerings. I mean, millennials want things that are new and exciting and evolving, And I don't think we can sort of stay in an archaic mode when it comes to various offerings, because we're never going to get ahead. So I think the tech revolution and the online industry has really jolted these two products forward, and will continue to do so.
Chantal, any more final thoughts before we say farewell?
Here's to hoping that at some point soon we hop on the bandwagon and join our neighbors to the south when it comes to single event sports betting.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.